connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say.
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus Network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it is another beautiful day here in the Shire. So, big news stories today. We got Aria in the studio with us. We got Tom Gray live via remote, correct?
Yeah, for
Awesome.
now, at least until Russia decides that they need a live test of these new long-range nukes.
And, we're just, it's just another Thursday afternoon here in the Zencash studio. I've got a story lined up for us here. This is, it's some James Bond kind of stuff. It's particularly amusing. I find it kind of funny. She's not an unattractive redhead, that's for sure. But you've got this. She's a spy supposedly. That was a Russian. She's a cute redhead who supposedly is bumping uglies with some 60-year-old guy, which totally doesn't make sense, because America's immigration policies, if you want to move here from somewhere, are ridiculous. So, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Get your green card. This is from the New York Mag. Alleged Russian spy was working to infiltrate religious right groups as well as gun groups. The more we learn about the freshly indicted Russian spy suspect, Maria Butina, the stranger the 29-year-old Siberian woman's story becomes. As Eric Levitz explained earlier this week, Butina has had some extracurricular activities that were quite unusual for a grad student, which is supposedly why she was in the United States to begin with. Previous reporting has suggested that this woman, 29-year-old American University graduate Maria Butina, tried to broker two separate meetings between Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin during the 2016 campaign. Court documents unveiled Monday allege that Butina simultaneously worked to infiltrate American political organizations and establish a back channel set of lines of communications with American politicians. Her apparent associate, or perhaps dupe, in her intelligence operation was the U.S. political operative Paul Erickson, who was 30 years older than Butina but reportedly living with her. He's had his own colorful pre-espionage career, which included Pat Buchanan's 1992 presidential campaign and a stint as a media advisor to John Wayne Bobbitt, the man whose wife Lorena famously dismembered him. Ba-dum-ching.
Womp, 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 womp.
Right. The New York Daily News helpfully reports that Erickson was the genius behind Bobbitt's international Love Hurts tour, during which they sold T-shirts and autographed steak knives. In any event,
Oh, for Pete's sake.
right? In any event, Erickson, who had a useful contact among U.S. gun activists, that Butina, who led a gun rights group back in Russia, was able to exploit very successfully. Her apparent boss, Russian Pole and Putin ally,
Giggity.
right, Alexander Torshin, attended multiple NRA conventions, and Erickson reportedly hooked him up with Donald Trump Jr. at a 2016 event. He also sought to set up a meeting for Torshin with the mogul himself around the same time. Butina took advantage of Erickson's links to the Christian right, as Slate's Ruth Graham reports, though Torshin had his own relationships in that universe, having attended multiple national prayer breakfasts. In 2016, according to a timeline compiled by the Washington Post, Butina emailed a prayer breakfast organizer to suggest that Putin might attend the following year. Well, that didn't happen, but she and Torshin attended. A new relationship between two countries always begins better when it begins in faith, Butina emailed an organizer afterward, thanking him for a gift and for the very private meeting after breakfast. Butina was also part of a group that attempted to secure a meeting with the Trump campaign in May of 2016 to talk about the persecution of Christians around the world, a topic of great interest to many American evangelicals. Now, you hear that they have her emails.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound like there's a whole lot here. I mean, she tried... She took it upon herself to attempt to improve relations between the U.S. and Russia. I mean, her.
Not only that, but basically she came here and she screwed her way through powerful white men. I fail to see how that's different than the story of a lot of. I mean,
than Trump's wife?
For real, I was just about to say, like, isn't that the story of the woman who's the first lady of the country? You know, I mean, that's not an unusual narrative for a girl to graduate from a college with some kind of, degree, and now she can't stay in the U.S. unless she finds a man. Well, I mean, if you're gonna have to find a man, you might as well find one that's got some loot. So she likes guns. She likes the Christian right. So it's only plausible that she would look in those circles. I mean, the chick in the pictures, the chick with the rifle, and then there's the Palestinian chick, and they're like telling me the difference between these two pictures. Mm-hmm. Well, the difference is the chick on the left holding the Bible. She got caught screwing the head of the Tea Party of the Tea Party at a Christian political convention.
Jesus is not going to be happy about that.
So this kind of stuff is not abnormal for oh, thank you for the very private meeting.
I mean,
she
that's
was
why men
probably
seek out
blowing
power
this guy.
and wealth. I mean, that's why men do it.
For real,
to screw hot
young chicks
who want to be screwed
while
by
they're
a man
60.
with
Yeah. Why do you become a powerful old white man? Well, because when you're 60, it's fun having sex with 20-year-old co-eds.
Welcome to humanity's existence here on Earth.
Forever. It's always been like this, yo. Why did Caesar chase? Caesar was in his 30s when he died, and Cleopatra was a teenager when he was chasing her around. So, I mean, this is not new. This is something that's been happening in human society with powerful men.
Wait a minute, dude. Just because you're an old 30-something doesn't mean all of us are comparable to 60-year-old men at
but
age
they died
30.
at 30 back then.
Yeah, right. Well, what I'm saying is that this is what happens with old men in power. They seek out attractive young women who are looking to go places. And
I'm pretty sure Cleopatra had her own money. Plus, that was Mark Antony, not Caesar.
Caesar was with her first.
Not in the Shakespeare play.
Well, we're not talking about the Shakespeare play here.
Why aren't we? Because we have no culture, that's why.
No,
because we're talking about John Wayne
reality, not fiction.
There's no Shakespeare here, just John Wayne Bobbitt and steak knives.
Yeah, right. Hand autographed steak knives. We'll be back with more autographed steak knives on the Call to Freedom.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
U.S. presidents often take credit for solving complex issues with many moving parts, whether they deserve that credit or not. But how much impact can a sitting president really have on the tides? We all know that presidents like to take credit for the undulations of the briny deep, when it suits them, that is, and we Americans are quick to blame whoever is in power for the multitudinous seas. During Eisenhower's administration in the 1950s, citizens took to the streets to protest his inability to harness the unruly waves, but Ike shifted blame for the tides that year onto a heron that had recently been born with a raven's head. But the truth is, when a president is in office, there's only so much he can do. Sure, the president can bring an amulet with the Eye of Horus to the top of the tallest peak, or spread lamb's blood on the base of an elm tree during a lunar eclipse. In reality, it's hard for anyone to know with true certainty how the tides will play out under any administration. For The Onion, I'm Eliza Hayes.
This is the Onion News Network.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
But I'll play this one for her. It's called Nola's First Day.
All right. Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been, we've been talking about this, the alleged spy. Supposedly, it looks like the allegation is a honeypot. That they brought a redhead. And, I mean, we're not talking like, what's her name? The one that used to be married to Tom Cruise. You know what I'm talking
Eddie
about.
Holmes?
No, she's not a redhead. The other one, the Australian one with the blue eyes. You know.
Naomi.
No, not Naomi. Nothing.
Some dude that he hid from the public because he's gay.
Oh my God. Anyway, she
Nicole Kidman.
Thank you. Not Nicole Kidman level hot redhead. She's just there's
Nicole Kidman's not even all that hot. I mean,
redheads come in like
Christina Hendricks, dude.
Redheads come in different, like natural redheads, Tom, come in different varieties.
Christina Hendricks is a natural
There's the gingers that should be hidden under the stairs.
What, Tom?
Christina Hendricks. Christina Hendricks. She's a natural redhead.
There's the gingers that we should hide under the stairs. You know the ones I'm talking about. The ones that you
like Ron Howard.
They should never come out of the closet.
Some of my best friends are gingers.
I know. That's great. Some of them should hide.
That category.
Right?
I don't disagree.
And then you've got there's like medium to oh my God. But there is no like moderate, mediocre looking redheads. They're either like or There is no in the middle.
I disagree.
I've never met
one who was right in the middle.
I've never met one that was in the middle. She's either like, oh, really? Like ones that you would give a second look for a good reason, and then ones that you would give a second look for a wrong reason. I'm awful. Anyway, and she's mediocre. I don't know how, but I guess it's her teeth. That's what it is. It's the teeth.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. She's how old?
29.
Okay, yeah, she shouldn't be in that category yet.
She's nailing a 60-year-old, though.
Well, but that significantly lowers the bar.
Right. True. Says,
well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, it depends on how much money and power he really has.
She had a very private meeting with whoever organized the prayer breakfast one year in 2016.
I caught that when you said it.
Yeah,
I was like, very thinking giggity.
Right? Very private meeting after the breakfast. And I'm like, okay, so she blew the guy who organized the prayer breakfast. Big shock, you know. And earlier in 2015, so like this is before the campaigns or anything are even going on, she and Erickson also appeared on a radio show of a conservative evangelical superstar and later big-time Trump promoter, Eric Metaxas, to discuss gun rights and religious freedom, topics that are strangely congruent in the conservative Christian circles in which all these birds flew.
Okay, so we're just dealing with a conservative Christian who is pro-guns, but she's Russian, so she's a spy, and they're going to
indict her for being a spy because of her political beliefs and because of where she's from. Oh, you mean like George Bush did to anybody with brown skin from a Muslim country? So
I mean, it's still not good that the Russian hysteria has gotten to this point.
So yeah, the left is terrified of Russians and the right is terrified of Muslims.
What? Yeah. How is it hysteria when they're actually like doing bad things?
Oh, Tom, that's such crap. There is zero evidence to support any of these allegations unless you're going to magically trust.
Of the indictments, dude?
Oh yes, because I trust the CIA.
You work in tech. You know about all. You know
yes,
about
and I know how easy.
You know about all the bears.
Hold on. I know how easy it is to make your IP address, make your actions on the internet look like they're coming from Moscow.
They're not
it takes
relying
2.5
on the IP
clicks.
Addresses. They're relying.
Well, it's not only that.
Yes, they are, Tom. That is the main evidence they have is that these are IP addresses linked to Moscow.
These are
because it's so hard to form your own behavioral pattern.
These are the same people. You have to remember, though, these are the same people who got us into the first war in Afghanistan. These are the same people that thought it was a good idea to arm Osama bin Laden. These are the same people that told us that Saddam Hussein was getting yellow cake from Niger. These are the same people that told us that the chemical weapons attack in Syria was Assad's army and not the consider the source, bro. You know, like, so you told me 9,000 lies, but I don't like
the same
this.
Sources, though.
I don't like. No, it's the CIA.
Along these lines, though. Every single one is along these
This
lines.
is
It's
the
just
same
some person who is from Russia and who may or may not
be
interested in Trump.
This is the same CIA that
CIA's
when they
not
were
the one passing the indictments down.
And FBI. This is the same intelligence community that saw that bugged the Nixon office when LBJ when LBJ and Nixon were running. Well, LBJ wasn't running, but LBJ had Nixon's office bugged, and they found out that while Nixon was running for office, that he colluded with the South Vietnamese to hold out on a peace agreement because he knew it would be damaging to the Democratic candidate for them to stall the peace accords so that he could get elected. And then
Reagan did the same thing with the kidnapped people in the embassy in Iran.
So, I mean, this is nothing new. This is not something that's like, oh, well, Trump invented this stuff. No, I mean, we have...
And there's no stuff to be invented. It's all just straw grasping. It's people who... Tom, do you remember when there were clowns appearing all throughout the country and everybody was freaking the hell out and the clowns did absolutely nothing to warrant any of it except stand there?
I don't remember any federal special counsel indicting any of the clowns.
No, you instead had people attacking clowns who were just going about their days. Yeah, you had police arresting clowns who were just going about their days. Tom, political theater, man. It's a thing. This is exactly like that. We have these people who have done nothing, and we have people who are totally freaked out about it.
Bro, I don't like Trump. I don't like him any more than the next guy likes him. But
this has nothing to do with Trump. This is just straight up Russia. I mean, this is
I like Russia. I have no beef with Russia.
I don't see Russian Facebook posts any more, what's the word?
Damaging to our democracy?
Than the fact that 3/4 of the state of the House and Senate are in the back pocket of a foreign lobby group, and that's open. Like, it's open that if you don't kiss AIPAC's butt, you don't get to be elected. I mean, that's we established that with Ocasio-Cortez earlier this week. So
we're going to help her out later today as well by explaining how it's an occupation.
Exactly. So, I mean, to me, one is the same as the other, but only one are we allowed to be angry about. The other to be angry about is somehow anti-Semitism.
I'm angry about everything.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
The warning signs.
First, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices. But I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencastr studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, it is another beautiful day.
Yeah, before moving on, I would like to mention that one of the things I learned from the clown hysteria is that it is impossible, and this is without regard to anything we've discussed here or with anyone here, it is impossible to talk someone out of hysteria as long as they're caught in it. Everything you say will reinforce, and this is in regard to the clowns, will reinforce their idea that they should be afraid.
Right. Basically, yeah. The whole concept of fear. Be afraid. Be scared.
I still think there is a decent chance that the whole clown thing was a CIA or deep state test op so that they could, you know, study the effects of hysteria
other people
so they could learn how to use it. Tom, there was never any explanation for it. Clowns appeared throughout the United States, seemingly randomly in a somewhat coordinated effort. I would bet if it was not a viral campaign for the movie It that they refused to take credit for because so many people flipped out, then it had to have been a deep state op. Had to have been. But I think the idea that it was
it was a marketing campaign. Yeah. I do. I think it was a marketing campaign. I think that's like
99% likely. Yeah, because they had no idea how badly people would freak out.
A couple people copycatted it, and one guy ended up shot, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay.
Because if they acknowledged
that, what happens.
If they acknowledged that they'd get sued.
Yeah, if they acknowledged that it was a marketing campaign that some people copied and ended up going raw, they would get sued into the fifth dimension. I mean, they would just, yeah.
Do you remember the Aqua Teen Hunger Force thing that had the bomb squads called out in New Jersey?
Yep.
That was so great.
I do. The little bitty
Yeah,
light
little
up.
and a big knot.
Yes. And the flip. Oh my God, I remember that.
It's like anybody under 30 could have pointed that out. So that's not a bomb.
Well, today there was, I believe it was today. Was it today? Where's it at? There was an announcement. There was by an Israeli minister in the last couple of days, and basically, nation-state law. There we go.
Yeah, 99.7%.
Oh, that's the other article. This is from the Middle Eastern Eye. Palestinian lawmakers were ejected from Knesset by security after votes, shouting, "You are a racist" at the speaker. Israel passed its nation-state law enshrining Jewish supremacy. Israel passed a law on Thursday, that's today, giving Jews supremacy over non-Jewish Israeli citizens, which critics and members of the state's Palestinian minority called racist.
They're only a minority because they were pushed out or killed, by the way.
The nation-state law passed by a 62-55 vote and 2 abstentions in the 120-member parliament. After months of political argument, following the vote, Palestinian lawmakers shouted and tore up papers. This is a defining moment in the annals of Zionism and the history of the State of Israel, said Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah, that's the problem, Bibi.
The new law constitutionally enshrines the identity of Israel as a nation-state of Jewish people only, despite the 1.5 million Palestinian citizens of the state and residents of East Jerusalem and the Golan Heights, and guarantees the exclusive ethnic religious character of Israel as Jewish. By defining sovereignty and democratic self-rule as belonging solely to the Jewish people, wherever they live around the world, Israel has made discrimination a constitutional value and professed its commitment to favoring Jewish supremacy as a bedrock of its institutions. Colonial settler states like Israel are moving, according to Mazin Kumsia, a writer and activist, colonial states like Israel move towards more and more extremism before they arrive at one of the 3 known outcomes of colonialism: the Algerian outcome, a 2-tiered ethnic system; the Australian USA outcome, genocide of natives; or the rest of the world model, coexistence in one pluralistic state. Right?
Where is that happening?
The nation-state law is written for self-validation by racists who know the third outcome is inevitably arriving soon. Less than 500 words long, the nation-state law accords exclusive national determination rights and the right to decide Israel's national priorities of both symbolic and practical importance only to Jews living in Israel, wherever they may live in Israel or abroad, and whether or not they even hold Israeli citizenship. The law does not notably say Palestinians and other non-Jewish citizens of Israel are entitled to equal treatment under the law, and the law also gives Hebrew superior status over Arabic, making the former the state's only official language and demoting the latter to merely a language with special status. In effect, the nation-state law, which as basic law holds constitutional power, means Israel's ethno-religious character supersedes its democratic one. 20% of the citizens will simply be discriminated against by definition.
I don't think it supersedes democracy. I think that is the exact flaw in democracy that people who rail against democracy have been pointing out since the Greeks. If you have 51% of people wanting to discriminate against 49% of people under democracy, that's totally okay.
Actually, this isn't as strong as what they wanted to pass. Netanyahu's government has ignored the protest of Palestinian parliamentarians and left-leaning Zionist lawmakers. It altered the law's language in recent weeks in order to secure common ground between the center-right and the far-right. The far-right religious bloc insisted on altering a clause committing the government to strengthen the affinity between the state and the Jewish people, ensuring that it would only apply to foreign Jews. The religious parties feared that if, as in normal language, the bill applied to Israeli Jews as well, it would legitimate liberal streams of the Jewish religion and weaken their own monopoly on issues such as synagogue and state. The center-right members of Netanyahu's coalition government worried that were the law to include language that could be easily understood as enshrining racial discrimination into law, then it would further sour Israel's relations with the world's Western democracies, who are still its most important international allies and largest partners. One clause in particular, 7b, had attracted much concern from Israel's allies, even its president, Reuven Rivlin. Clause 7b would have allowed Jewish-only communities and said that the state can allow a community composed of people of the same faith to maintain an exclusive community.
Aren't they doing that anyway?
Right. But it's not protected specifically by law, though.
Oh.
Rivlin condemned
just by the soldiers.
Yeah. Rivlin condemned the clause, saying that it would allow any community to establish residential communities that exclude Jews, including Druze and LGBT people. Under such pressure,
this is so asinine,
right? Under such pressure and encouraged by the center-right, 7b was removed, with the article concerning Jewish settlement changed to, "The state views the development of Jewish settlements as a national value and will act to encourage and promote their establishment and consolidation, mandating support for Jewish-only settlement communities."
You know, I'm starting to think it may just be the responsibility of Iran and Saudi Arabia and Pakistan and Egypt and every other largely Muslim country to invade Israel and destroy its government. Not its people, but its government.
They are definitely a rogue state out to...
They're lunatics.
I guess that makes you evil then.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated. So send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Do you ever say, I could care less, when you really mean the opposite? You mean to say, I couldn't care less. It's a common mistake. You are judged by how you speak, especially if you're looking for work, with so many more applicants than openings now. But even if you're not, avoiding common misstatements will help you make the most of the dozens of conversations and transactions that crowd your daily routine. So whatever you say, don't say whatever as a single word sentence. It's the most annoying expression in the American English language, according to a recent poll. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. But seriously, at the end of the day, you'll want to avoid this scenario, sounding like everyone else. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, and it is another beautiful day in the Shire. We've been talking about the passing of the ethno-state law, basically enshrining ethno-state status. Basically, Israel has become the favorite home now of people like Chris Cantwell or Augustus Invictus or Richard Spencer. I mean, if you want an ethno-nationalist state, then you now have one you can hearken to and go, we need to be them. But it gets even worse.
I don't think they would, though, because those are Jews.
Right.
So they're doing it wrong.
Right. Even though the only
doing
ones...
what wrong? Being white?
The whole genocide thing. Yeah.
They have an ethno-state, which is what they... Basically, the Aryans are mad because the Jews pulled off what they haven't been able to do in 60 years.
Womp womp.
Boom! Suck on that. Anyway.
Right.
So, the story actually that we were going to cover is just as bad, though. Now... Earlier this week, we talked about how when challenged on whether or not when Ocasio-Cortez said the word the Israeli occupation of Palestinian lands, and she says, "Well, why is it an occupation?" And the response was, "I'm not an expert on Middle Eastern policy. I just said some things because I thought they sounded woke. I didn't know you'd ask me questions." Well, Ms. Ocasio-Cortez, we're going to answer that question for you here. Why? Why is it an occupation? Well, how about in the West Bank, 99.7% of public land grants go to settlers, not to Palestinians. Now, remember, the West Bank is the supposedly unoccupied area of Palestine, but the government, the government of Israel are the ones who give the land grants in Palestine. So Palestine's not occupied, but a foreign government makes its decisions. Yeah. That's occupation.
And haven't they put a wall there and shoot at people flying kites and
Dancing.
12-year-old boys and
now you've got a
people
movement
with crutches
where you have people that are dancing. You have a dance movement where they go up and they dance within 300 meters of the wall.
Kudos to them,
and
man.
that's what they do. They just go out there and they play the music like what I was just playing, the Dubka music, and they dance. They do like this new hip hop version of this old traditional Arabic dance, and they do it 10 feet closer to the wall than they're supposed to be.
Well, you can see me, you can't do anything. Well, they can do something.
Well, no, that's
but
the point, is that the order has been given that no matter what they're doing, if they're within 300 meters of the wall, you shoot them.
But this is totally not an occupation, totally nothing like West Berlin.
Right. So what they do is they
East Berlin,
they walk up 290 feet from the wall and set up their boom boxes and dance in the desert. And I mean, I've seen the videos of it. It's pretty bad. It's pretty awesome.
I mean, if they're going to dance in the desert, they got to play System of a Down's BYOB.
I mean, it's like double.
They just have
it's
to.
like double middle fingers in the air to the snipers with their rifles, and they're literally just out there getting it. You know,
how many of them have been shot for this?
Couple of them have been shot. Few of them have been killed. But this is their protest, and the world.
Well, I mean, they
doesn't care.
They can't shoot back.
No,
because then they're the devils in the eyes of the world because of the United States putting so much of its tongue up Israel's ass.
Even our politicians will say their dancing is provocation.
Yeah,
they want to be shot. Well, yeah, because they want to show the world, look, Israel's line of BS for the last 60 years is, well, we have to defend ourselves. They're violent, evil, horrible savages. We have to defend ourselves. Okay, well, they're dancing without weapons. Yeah, well, that's a provocation. Dancing.
Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting how when women in Iran do these same protests, we laud them for their bravery in the face of tyranny? Like when women in Iran do the dancing protests, but when Palestinians do it,
and that's
terrorists!
That's when one woman is arrested for doing it. We're talking multiple people murdered by military. Civilians shot through the head at 290 meters for dancing unarmed.
Do you remember the lemonade thing we discussed yesterday?
Miley! Come on, people.
It would be like if those lemonade protesters had been shot for selling their 10-cent lemonade.
Exactly. Well, you see, 5 decades now, Israel has been in control of the West Bank and marked out hundreds of thousands of acres as public land. And it's allocated almost half of them for use. 400 of those acres, or 0.24%, has gone to Arabs, Palestinian, the people whose freaking country it is. The rest, 99.76%, has gone to establish illegal Israeli settlements in an area that, according to PBS, is not under military occupation. I guess, well, they're right. It's not. It's colonialism is what it is. It's straight up colonialism. We came, America and England helped us conquer. Y'all got to go. And it is the second situation. It's America and the natives. It's Australia and the Aborigines. It is the systematic pushing out and displacement of an entire people. And the excuse is, well, there are other countries they can go to. Okay, dude, then get the hell out of your house and go somewhere else.
I mean, that was equally true of Jews during the Holocaust as well. They could have just left Austria.
Right? Because, I mean, Jews could go anywhere they wanted, right? I mean, come on, man.
I mean, they could have just walked away from Lindenberg.
I mean, here's the best part. The same people that are saying, close our borders to Arabs are going, the Arabs could just leave and go somewhere else.
Well, they meant to another one of those brown countries.
Well, those countries are already overfilled. They've already taken so many refugees.
That's the fault of the brown people for overbreeding.
Yeah, there we go. Which is why we need presidents like Bush and Trump and Obama and Clinton.
Yeah, like
to
thinning out the
thin
herd
them
of deer
out for us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, it's humanitarian.
Well, it says that this lopsided allocation is hardly surprising. Israeli legal experts say that the whole point is seeking out state lands, the bulk of which were designated in the 1980s, was to aid the growing settlement enterprise, which most of the world considers a violation of international law. But the paucity of land allocated to the Palestinians shows that the extent of competition over territory and the effort Israel puts toward building the settlements. We took the most important and precious resource, the land, for our use only, said Haggett Ofran of Peace Now's Settlement Watch Unit. The protected population has nobody else to care for it, she said, so the occupier has to do that. Peace Now based its calculations on data obtained from the Civil Administration, the Israeli authority that carries out civilian policy in the West Bank, including land administration under the command of the military. What was that? Wait, hold on. Let me say that again. Under the command of the military. So, Ocasio, I hope you're listening.
Me too.
This is how you know it's an occupation. The land in the West Bank that belongs to the Palestinians is under the command of the military. Did you get that?
It's pretty definitive.
Linda, Sarsa, just sit down, honey. I'll take care of your job that you should have done. Listen, Ocasio, the land in the West Bank is under the command of the civil administration, which is under the command of the Israeli military. That's why it's an occupation. There you go. Did your homework for you. Next time, tell Linda that she should prepare you better for interviews.
Grown-up stuff.
And that you should know this stuff before you walk into an interview with the mainstream media after calling the Israeli occupation what it actually is. We'll be back with the Crypto Hour in just a moment here on the Call to Freedom, so don't go anywhere.
Free Talk Live.
Did you say that you prostituted yourself when you were 10 years old?
I was doing something of a sexual nature in return for... It was a next-door neighbor. He was probably around 16.
So he took advantage of you?
No, sir. He didn't take advantage of me.
He corrupted you morally?
No, sir. It was my choice to climb into his window. It was my choice, Lou. It was my choice to take my pants off and get into his bed. It was all my choice, Lou.
Listen to me, Ian. You do not have the right at the age of 10 to make that decision.
Don't you dare tell me what I can and can't do, Lou.
I'm telling you, he molested you.
No, Lou.
You don't even realize.
Lou, you don't understand what molestation is. Molestation is unwanted sexual advances. I consented. I know you don't believe that's possible. I know me better than you know me, Lou.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, July 19th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.25 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,215 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $29, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,425. Antiwar.com reports in comments to reporters, President Trump said that talks with North Korea are going very, very well, but there is no hurry on the denuclearization process. He said that there is no time limit on the process. That isn't necessarily a change in policy, as the administration never put a specific deadline on denuclearization. It is, however, a change in narrative, as previously they'd suggested that it would be happening very quickly. Analysts have suggested full denuclearization is likely to take years, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had said the hope was to have substantial progress done by the end of Trump's first term in office. Other than a dubious claim by John Bolton of a one-year plan, there was never any talk of anything sooner. Trump continues to express optimism about the progress with Kim Jong-un. The current strategy suggests that so long as negotiations are going well and progress is being made, the U.S. isn't going to suddenly bail on the program because of some sense that North Korea is too slow for their taste. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports Pennsylvania Supreme Court moved Wednesday to uphold a tax on soda and other sweetened beverages in Philadelphia. The court issued a 4-2 majority opinion saying the city did not violate state law by instituting a 1.5 cent per ounce tax on drinks to fund pre-K, community schools, and improvements to parks, libraries, and recreational centers. Opponents of the tax argued it amounted to double taxation because it applied to consumers who had already paid sales tax. City officials said money was being withheld as the government awaited the court's decision. The tax added about $1 to the cost of a 2-liter bottle of soda and $2.16 to a 12-pack of 12-ounce sodas, which Pennsylvania Food Merchant Association spokesman Alex Beloga said prompted some people to purchase soda outside of the city. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com. That's weusecoins.com. Reuters reports the California Supreme Court on Wednesday ordered the November ballot purged of an initiative that seeks to split California into 3 states, citing significant questions raised about the proposal's validity. State election officials certified last month that supporters of the so-called Cal 3 measure, also known as Proposition 9, had collected enough signatures to qualify for the ballot in the country's most populous state. An environmental group, the Planning and Conservation League, challenged the measure in court, arguing it posed a revision of the state constitution as opposed to an amendment that is too sweeping to be legally subjected to the direct consent of the voters. Siding with the opponents for the time being, the court directed state election officials to keep the measure off the upcoming November ballot to allow the justices sufficient time to review and decide the merits of the case. The court left open the possibility of allowing the initiative to be put before the voters in the future, saying the potential harm in permitting the measure to remain on the ballot outweighs the harm of its delay. The initiative was launched by Silicon Valley venture capitalist billionaire Tim Draper, who has argued that California's size makes it ungovernable. He failed in 2 previous bids to qualify a 6-way split of California for the ballot. Draper decried Wednesday's outcome as indicative of a corrupted political system, saying, "This is not the way democracies are supposed to work." Opponents said Draper's partition plan would be chaotic and a costly waste of time and resources. Voter approval of Cal 3 would not automatically divide California into 3 states. Instead, the governor would be directed to petition Congress to approve the split as called for under the U.S. Constitution, and the president would be required to sign such legislation into law. Political experts said Congress is unlikely to embrace the concept of 3 Californias, and they question whether state voters would take it seriously. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
As a police officer, I constantly live in fear that I might be filmed brutalizing a civilian. It's something you know from the time you're a cadet. The slightest civil rights infraction in front of anyone who's looking, and the next thing you know, you're surrounded by cameras and trending on Twitter. No cop should have to worry about that. Practically every precinct I know has somebody serving desk duty just for acting on deeply rooted prejudices when somebody had a recording device on them. It happened to my partner, and it even happened to our own captain. One day he's just kicking an unarmed pedestrian in the ribs when all of a sudden people with cameras are everywhere, and then they just start shooting what he was doing, all 6 minutes of it. I can't help but think sometimes that could have been me ending up at that desk job. You never know which day of total impunity will be your last, but for a cop, that's just our daily reality.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com on the Call to Freedom.
All right, that's right. It's time for the Crypto Hour here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Zencastr studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it is Crypto Hour brought to you by the motionproject.org. We should have that new audio loaded in hopefully tomorrow.
Awesome.
I need a WAV file. There we go. We got that coming up. We're still trying to get in touch with the guy who did our 80s jingle to see if he can put us a new intro together. He's been kind of busy, and he's a songwriter, so you know how it goes with that. Anyway, we've got some good stories today. First big story: Bitcoin's miner price pullback yesterday has likely recharged the bulls for a rally toward 8,000, according to technical charts today. The leading cryptocurrency spent the better part of the last 15 hours being traded somewhere between $7,200 and $7,400 and clocked a 40-day high of $7,588 at 1,800 UTC yesterday. Bitcoin was looking overbought at multi-week highs, hence a minor correction was to be expected. More importantly, the price pullback and the subsequent consolidation excuse me. The subsequent consolidation, when viewed against the backdrop of the high volume inverse head and shoulders breakout, indicates that Bitcoin has likely gathered some steam for a more sustainable rally toward the $8,000 mark. Bitcoin is currently trading hands on Bitfinex around $7,400, up 0.2% from just 24 hours ago. While Bitcoin's rally may have stalled momentarily in the last 24 hours, the bias remains bullish since the prices are holding well above the inverse head and shoulders neckline support and the former resistance of around 68.38. I called it. I said, look, everything's we're not going to see good numbers until after mid-July. Mid-July was going to be the bounce, and boom. We pushed through that $6,800 mark finally. It slowed down a little bit. Now it's heading through it's pushing toward 8,000. Clearly, Bitcoin remains on the hunt for the $8,000 mark, and the short duration chart indicates that the move could happen within the next 48 hours. So the Bollinger Bands narrowed at 0.0000, so midnight UTC yesterday, meaning that price volatility, as reported by the gap between the Bollinger Bands, has remained low for more than 24 hours. As a result, we could be in for a big move in either direction, as the extended period of low volatility often followed by a period of high volatility. That said, the big move will likely happen on the higher side as the RSI is beginning to rise after having built a base around 4,600 in the last 15 hours. Meanwhile, the major moving averages, the 50, 100, and 200 hour, have caught up with rising prices, which indicates Bitcoin markets are no longer overstretched. The averages are located one below the other, indicating the path of least resistance is to the upside. So that's good news for Bitcoin investors. Bitcoin's price pullback last night likely recharged the engines for a rally to 8,000 sometime over the next 48 hours. The short-term outlook remains bullish as long as Bitcoin is trading above the inverse head and shoulders neckline of $6,840. Deeper technical correction, if it occurs, could be short-lived as the daily chart and the hourly chart are still biased in favor of bullish gains. So this is really what we've been trying to get done for a while.
I would love to see the excitement return.
Push above that mark, and I'm really glad we finally got there. I was watching. I got friends. They're like, "Oh my God, man, can you just buy my coins back? Cause can you just buy them back?" And then the bull hit, and they were just, you know what? I changed my mind. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold. And I'm like, oh, so you saw your gains, and you're like, oh, okay, I thought, no, I want to hold.
I mean, we've been telling people that was going to happen since January.
I know.
It's going to go back up. Just chill.
I know.
And hodl.
I told them in April that it'd be July, and they were still like, I even told the guy when he bought it, I'm like, look, man, it's going to dip again. There's going to be one, because he got it in like mid to late June. I'm like, look, dude, it's going to dip again. It's going to drop. Probably, you're going to put this in here, and then it's going to drop to 5,000. And he was like, nah, it's been making money. I'm like, no. Listen, you're going to put it in. It's going to drop to 5K. Don't freak out. And sure enough, man, he calls me on the phone. He's like, Bitcoin's it's a bloodbath, man. Bitcoin's getting beat down. And I'm like, I know. I told you this was going to happen. I told you. Nope. People see their money start shrinking. They see the value of their coins going down versus, the only thing that they have a stake to kind of nail it to, which is the US dollar. And they just freak out. They completely lose their minds and don't really think about the fact that, like, look, bro, there's a bounce, boing, just chill. The ball will hit the ground and bounce back up in a minute. Just calm down. And then when it gets up like 70 something, it's like, oh, never mind, And then it started going down again today. It's like, yeah, well, you want. Oh, no, man, I don't know anybody. I'm broke. I'm broke. I just got back from Florida, yo. I ain't got no money. I'm dead broke.
And this time it's not because you got robbed.
No, this time it's just because I took my kids to have a really good time for 5 days in Florida. Anyway, so I've got the new intro here, if it'll play.
Hodl.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by motionproject.org here on the Call to Freedom.
Much more Hodory.
Yeah, I know. It's like the fifth version of it. And he has an accent. The guy who did our commercials before. I mean, he did the other one, the other intro. He did our big 60-second commercial that we run on LRN. He's done a lot of work for us. If we get the Beancash. If we get the Beancash contract that we're working on right now, he'll be doing the cartoon voice. He'll be Mr. Bean.
Awesome.
he does great work. His name's Joel North. We just get work done through Fiverr by him. He's the one of three. We've used like 30 different people. I have $50, $60 on my Fiverr account right now because we've used so many different people and we've paid people different amounts. And I'm like, we'll try something new. And then we always end up back with Joel or Jay. Joel North or Jay, I think Stevens is his name. And that's where we end up every single time because they are just absolutely amazing at what they do. Anyway, we'll be back here with Crypto Hour in just a moment here on the Call of Freedom on LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. You ain't going to make it. Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Hey everybody, my name is Carlos Matos and I am coming from New York City, New York. Let me tell you guys that I am so excited, I am so happy, I am really so thrilled to be right now sharing this amazing, glorious, super and exciting moment of my life with all of you guys. And let me tell you that we are really changing the world as we know it. The world is not anymore the way it used to be. No, no, no. Be connected.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is the Crypto Hour brought to you by the Motion Project at motionproject.org. Put your ideas into motion. So we've got a great story. I know that the BitConnect song usually means a scam. I guess this would have to, in my opinion at least, this qualifies as a scam. Easily one of the biggest scams pulled on the American public in history. That would be, well, not BitConnect, that's for sure.
No.
The voting machines. That's right, the voting machines. Now,
it's not even the story, it's just the machines themselves are the biggest scam, I would say.
Yeah.
Considering there are some states like Mississippi where there is no paper trail. You have absolutely no record of your vote.
Right. Now, this comes from the Motherboard. Top voting machine vendor admits it installed remote access software on systems sold to states. Remote access software and modems on election equipment is the worst decision for security short of leaving ballot boxes on a Moscow street corner. Wow. Oh, Lord. The nation's top voting machine maker has admitted in a letter to a federal lawmaker that the company installed remote access software on election management systems that sold over a period of 6 years, raising questions about the security of those systems and the integrity of elections that were conducted with them. In a letter sent to Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, in April and obtained recently by Motherboard, Election Systems and Software acknowledged that it had, quote, provided PC Anywhere remote connection software to a small number of customers between 2000 and 2006, which was installed on the election management system ES&S sold. The ES&S sold them.
Tom, I've never used PC Anywhere. Have you?
No, we use a remote desktop solution that's not obviously problematic.
The statement contradicts what the company told me and fact checkers for a story I wrote for the New York Times in February. At that time, a spokesman said that ES&S had never installed PC Anywhere on any election system it sold. Quote, none of our employees, including long-tenured employees, has any knowledge that our voting systems have ever been sold with remote access software, end quote. ES&S did not...
Oh, no, they sell it and then put the remote access software on it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, then... No, we didn't sell you software with remote access software on it.
No. ES&S did not respond on Monday to questions from Motherboard, and it's not clear why the company changed its response between February and April. Lawmakers, however, have subpoena power that can compel a company to hand over documents or provide sworn testimony on a matter lawmakers are investigating, and a statement made to lawmakers that is later proven false can have greater consequence for a company than one made to reporters. ES&S is the top voting machine maker in the country, a position it held in the years 2000 through 2006 when it was installing PC Anywhere on its systems. The company's machines were used statewide in a number of states, and at least 60% of ballots cast in the U.S. in 2006 were tabulated on ES&S election management systems. It's not clear why ES&S would have only installed the software on the system of, quote, a small number of customers, and it's not all customers unless other customers objected or had state laws preventing this. The company told Wyden that it stopped installing PC Anywhere on systems in December of 2007, after the Election Assistance Commission, which oversees the federal testing and certification of election systems used in the U.S., released new voting system standards.
Yeah, in response to the revelation that these things are easily hacked.
Those standards required that any election systems submitted for federal testing and certification thereafter could only contain software essential for voting and tabulation. Although the standards only went into effect in 2007, they were created in 2005 in a very public process during which the security of voting machines was being discussed frequently in newspapers and on Capitol Hill. Election management systems are not the voting terminals that voters use to cast their ballots, but are just as critical. They sit in county election offices and contain software that in some counties is used to program all the voting machines used in the county. The system also tabulates final results aggregated from the voting machines. Software like PC Anywhere is used by system administrators to access and control systems from a remote location to conduct maintenance or upgrade or alter software. But election management systems and voting machines are supposed to be air-gapped for security reasons.
You would think.
That is, disconnected from the internet and from any other systems that are connected to the internet. ES&S customers who had PC Anywhere installed also had modems on their election management systems, so ES&S technicians could dial into the system and use the software to troubleshoot, thereby creating a potential port of entry for hackers as well.
I have to correct them there. A modem in 2006 would not have been a dial-up modem. I mean, modem just stands for modulator, demodulator. It's not necessarily dial-up, and it wouldn't have been, not in 2006.
Okay.
Just saying.
Well, in some of these really old county courthouses, they might have still been using dial-up internet. So it might have had to be dial-up enabled.
Well, they weren't in rural Mississippi, so I don't know where else is broker than that.
Oh, my friend.
Yeah, right?
Come spend a week up here.
Right. Let me tell you about the mountains.
let me tell you about what used to be coal country.
For real.
Before people stopped buying coal.
Yeah. Mississippi's mostly flat, right?
Well, the western parts.
Yeah.
And y'all got rivers. Yeah, exactly. You've got the delta. You have like trade and stuff.
We don't have any of that up in the mountains. There's none of that.
Y'all got boats.
Y'all got doctors and dentists. What are you talking about, boats? We got boats. We don't have doctors or dentists.
I definitely wouldn't have wanted to do a remote session over dial-up anyway.
Anyway, so when we get back here on the Call to Freedom, we're going to continue on with this discussion of remote access softwares being added to voting machines. It looks like all the way up to 2007 that they're willing to admit. Possibly, how things go even later. You want to get involved, give us a call, 603-283-6160. We'll be right back.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is the Crypto Hour, brought to you by the Motion Project over at motionproject.org. And, well, we've been talking about one of the biggest scams ever pulled out on the American people, electronic computerized voting machines. Now, this is coming from Motherboard. It says in May of 2006, an Allegheny County, Pennsylvania ES&S technician used PC Anywhere software installed on that county's election management system for hours trying to reconcile vote discrepancies in a local election. According to a report filed at the time and in a contract with Michigan, which covered 2006 to 2009, ES&S discussed its use of PC Anywhere and modems for this purpose. In some cases, the technical support representative accesses the customer's system through PC Anywhere, off-the-shelf software which allows immediate access to the customer's data and network system from a remote location. To gain insight into the issue and other precise solutions, ES&S wrote in a June 2007 addendum that
Hold on. That means these voting machines are running Windows.
Probably.
What else do you think that the little ladies in the election office are capable of working?
I would assume, or I would hope, rather, that they had the sense to not do that and to instead code their own Linux operating system.
Government.
Well, you know, it's like I've said thousands of times. No, it's not even government. It's that IT people don't take IT security seriously. It's an afterthought, if anything.
Yep.
Sure, we'll put the control of the nation's republic into the hands of Microsoft. What sounds wrong with that?
I mean, y'all didn't mind when they were putting it into the hands of the Russians.
There's a big difference in some really in played out Facebook memes and going into the election machines and changing the votes.
I mean, yeah, if we had any evidence of Russian hackers, you know, hacking these machines and altering the votes, that would be one thing. But all of the audits that we did showed a lower discrepancy than what we have come to expect.
Says in some cases, the technical support representative, ES&S technicians can use PC Anywhere to view a client's computer, assess the exact situation that caused the software issue, and view data files. Motherboard asked a Michigan spokesman if any officials in his state ever installed PC Anywhere software on that ES&S any PC Anywhere software that ES&S recommended that they install, but got no response. The presence of such software makes a system more vulnerable to attack from hackers, especially if the remote access software itself contains security vulnerabilities. If an attacker can gain remote access to an election management system through the modem and take control of it using the PC Anywhere software installed on it, he can introduce malicious code, and that gets passed along to voting machines to disrupt an election or alter its results. Wyden told Motherboard that installing remote access software and modems on election equipment...
Now I understand why we're hearing about this story from 2006 in 2018. It's part of the Russian fear.
Right. Is the worst decision for security short of leaving ballot boxes on a Moscow street corner. Here, right there. Oh, my God. Yep. Arya's like, this is totally about Russian fear. And the very next quote is, it's worse than leaving ballot boxes on a Moscow street corner.
I mean, because the story is 12 years old.
Yeah.
You know? The reason I probably never used PC Anywhere is because I hadn't even gone to college at that point.
They killed somebody over this, I heard. Some guy, like, him and his kids committed, like, he killed his kids and committed suicide, like, right after he testified before the Senate subcommittee or something like that on...
Did he commit suicide or did he commit suicide?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, like, he was a happy man with a good wife and a good life and was gone to, like, go to Disneyland with his kids or something, and while he was on vacation, just decided to nut up and shoot his kids and kill himself, because, you know, that's what people do. That's reasonable. I'm on vacation. I'm gonna kill my whole family. O'Doyle rules. Nobody got that movie reference. Okay,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a Billy Madison reference. It's it's a Billy Madison reference. There's a family that they pick on him from, like, kindergarten all the way through to the graduation, and at the end of the movie, the family is on vacation and they chant O'Doyle rules, and the dad drives them all off of a cliff in a National Lampoon Vacation style wagon.
Now that I've seen.
Yeah. Anyway, in 2006, the same period when ES&S says it was still installing PC Anywhere on election systems, hackers stole the source code for the PC Anywhere software, though the public didn't learn of it until years later in 2012, when a hacker posted some of the source code online, forcing Symantec, the distributor of PC Anywhere, to admit,
dear God,
to admit that it had been stolen years earlier. Source code is invaluable to hackers because it allows them to examine the code to find security flaws that they can exploit. When Symantec admitted to the theft in 2012, it took the unprecedented step of warning users to disable or uninstall the software until it could make sure that any security flaws had been patched. Around the same time, security researchers discovered a critical vulnerability in PC Anywhere that it would allow an attacker to seize control of a system that had the software installed on it, without needing to authenticate themselves to the system with a password. And other researchers with the security firm Rapid7 scanned the internet for any computers that were online and had PC Anywhere installed on them, and find nearly 150,000 were configured in a way that would allow direct access to them. It's not clear if election officials who had PC Anywhere software installed on their systems ever patched this and other security flaws that are in the software. It's very unlikely that jurisdictions that had to use the software updated it very often, says Joseph Lorenzo Hall, a chief technologist at the Center for Democracy and Technology, meaning that it's not likely that a trivial number of them were exposed to some of the flaws found both in terms of configuration, but also flaws that were found in the source code to that software that was stolen in 2006.
I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, we still have people running unpatched versions of Windows XP from 2006. I mean, there's no doubt these people didn't update these machines.
ES&S said in its these rural, like backwood, like Tom said, come to coal country where they're still using Mac Tandies in the courthouses. Yeah, you're laughing, bro. I'm serious. I
ain't laughing because I've seen it.
I've seen it with my own eye. Tandies.
Tandy is bankrupt. They closed and went out of business.
In the courthouse. Tandies.
And they stopped making computers in 1993.
Old Apple floppy drive computers at the health department.
No way.
I'm not kidding. Tom, am I kidding?
No,
I'm not exaggerating even a little bit.
I can't even remember the last time I saw a floppy drive.
When you have to get something printed out at the health department, it's on that paper that has the
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
Back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, and it is the final segment of today's Crypto Hour, brought to you by the Motion Project at motionproject.org. So we've been talking about this horrible idea of putting software,
I mean, remote access software in general is a terrible idea.
Yeah, but putting it on voting machines is an especially terrible idea.
Well, I don't know if it's worse than any other. When I worked for a guy in Mississippi, he regularly just opened up RDP, the built-in remote desktop functionality of Windows Terminal Services. Just open it up.
Oh, that hurts my brain.
Yeah, and forwarded it on the default port to the server. And
on the default port.
Yeah, and generally used a weak password. It was a disaster. It's like, why do you think you're getting hit with ransomware every other month, man?
Anybody out there who's
they're making it easy,
paying attention? That was the Motion Project Faucet. That's our Motion Faucet. Give us a call at 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 and claim your wallet of 10 free XMN, 10 free Motion coins right now. Brought to you by the Motion Project at motionproject.org. So again, we've been doing this this thing where we're putting software for remote access onto antiquated systems. Probably the voting machine is probably the newest computer in the building. And we didn't see that this was going to be a problem.
No, I mean, this is not hard. You create a proprietary file storage system and a file storage device, and you put one into each voting machine. And then at the end of the voting, you take that card out, you pop it into a specially built proprietary device that takes the data off of those cards, tabulates them, and puts it on the freaking screen. None of the other stuff is necessary.
Now, I know this is a little off topic, but we've been talking about the putting software on, and so now we know, hey, at least up until 2006, you could remotely access, and maybe that's what had something to do about, yeah, exactly. But this is a story that I saw, and I was like, you know what? I've got to pull this up for the show prep. We've at least got to touch on it before we end the show, if for no other reason than because it's absolutely hilarious. Steve Bannon of Breitbart, the former Trump advisor, is making his own cryptocurrency. That's right. Former chief strategist to the U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed he wants to launch a cryptocurrency of his own. Speaking to CNBC on Wednesday, the Breitbart co-founder said that they're the future, adding that we're working on some tokens now, utility tokens potentially, for the populist movement on a worldwide basis. Bannon first hinted at the idea in June, though at the time he was hesitant about revealing too many details of his cryptocurrency plans. He did contemplate naming his token Deplorable Coin at the time, and referencing a term used by the Secretary of State and presidential candidate Hillary Clinton to describe Trump's supporters during the 2016 presidential campaign. On Wednesday, so just yesterday, Bannon spoke about the cryptocurrency space more broadly as well, saying, I think these cryptocurrencies have a huge aspect in the future. Obviously, there's problems in the markets and problems about what it's used for. That being said, he said most ICOs have been disasters. As such, Bannon insisted the product he and his team are currently working on has to have quality. Bannon also commented
that'd be the first thing in his life
on a few other
you beat me to it.
Cryptocurrencies in the market. I like Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin. He's not saying, but saying he does not own any Ether. So
Bannon owns Bitcoin.
Yeah. And there's a new thing on the Ethereum blockchain. So before it was CryptoKitties, now it's digital monsters. That's
I quit.
These digital monsters live on Ethereum, but they'll fight on Zilliqua.
Didn't somebody already do this with a Pokemon ripoff?
Before my one and only Mon reached level 4, I was out of Ether. Such was the end result of my first experience with Ethereumon, a game inspired by Pokemon and built on the world's second largest blockchain, Ethereum. I had about $15 worth of Ether to spare, so I decided to try it out, eventually arming myself with a cute fire-themed creature called Kyari. I quickly ran into an issue with the blockchain game, namely $15. So I never got a chance to move on or to more interesting gameplay, battling other users' Mons, evolving my Mon into more powerful forms, laying eggs, making trades. Every action from catching the Mon, in reality a non-fungible ERC-721 token, to training it in gym sessions with other Mons, i.e. altering the data associated with that token, had cost the equivalent of $1 or $2. The reason is that every update to Ethereum's smart contracts calls for gas, part of a complex fee mechanism that incentivizes the miners who maintain the Ethereum blockchain. Making matters worse, these transactions often took several minutes to complete.
Two things. First of all, there's a sucker born every minute.
Right.
If you're doing this, you are one of those suckers. Congratulations. Secondly,
that's not a real congratulations, by the way.
Yeah. It's as both an avid gamer who used to be an editor at a gaming site, it's disheartening to hear that fee-to-pay games, which are free-to-play games that aren't actually free, have made their way onto the blockchain.
Though this is up front that they're not free.
Yeah.
It's very
well, neither is CryptoKitties. And it sounds like he spent most of his money just, attempting to play the game. I mean, did you not know how Ethereum worked when you got into this?
Right.
I mean, otherwise you're just going to have your creature there on your mobile phone and you can do whatever you want to it, including hack it. And then when you're done playing the game, you write it back to the blockchain. That would be the ideal solution, except, they're not going to get their money out of you that way, you idiot.
Says that Ethereum is the second most popular Ethereum-based game, but at one point, gas costs rose so much that Ethereum's developers had to take drastic action. It became super, super expensive, and we saw our daily active users drop a lot. Co-founder and business development director Nedrick Nagy, I don't know. And as a result, the team moved battles in which users pit their mons against others for experience points and bragging rights off the Ethereum chain and on to centralized servers, partially re-centralizing a decentralized game like it's missing the point. However, so Ethereum announced... That's the weirdest sounding sentence ever. So Ethereum announced earlier this month that it's planning to move much of the gameplay to a new soon-to-be-launched blockchain protocol called Zilliqa. Zilliqa and Ethereum's teams are based in Singapore. But in a decision that may reflect an emerging trend in the development of decentralized applications such as Ethereum, the designers don't plan to move the game's assets, the tokenized mons that encode data such as level, experience points, and evolutionary form, data that gamers have earned through many slow and costly actions, will stay on Ethereum for the time being. Zilliqa will simply work as a sidechain, a sharding. So
that's all I can do.
I want to see what an Ethereum looks like.
Well, they're going to be like cute little things that evolve into horrible monsters. Well, I mean, with almost absolute certainty.
Yeah, because that's not an obvious ripoff of anything else with Mon in the name or anything. As far as Zilliqa, I mentioned that I'm kind of a fan of the technology. But they do have a tendency right now. I mean, they're an educational foundation. They're through like a university, but they do have a tendency to latch on to just about anything that might bring them publicity, like a bunch of scientists who don't understand how publicity works.
All right.
This is an example.
We'll be back with the third hour right after this.
It seems like we're constantly hearing different fitness advice. Exercise 2 to 3 times a week for at least 30 minutes a day. And don't forget cardio. But don't exercise too much or you'll get hurt. So, how much exercise should you be getting? Well, actually not that much, since the human body is only built to withstand walking a short distance before lying or sitting down again. In fact, a group of biologists from Stanford found that walking more than 5 feet at a time can cause joint pain, fatigue, and even extreme hunger. The study concluded that the maximum effort the human body can safely endure is reaching for an item high on a shelf. Our bodies simply aren't built to stand up and move around. So maybe those high-intensity spin classes and daily jogs aren't such a good idea. Instead of walking up the stairs every day, try taking the elevator whenever possible. You can even use a fitness tracker to let you know when you've been exerting too much energy. Your body will appreciate it. For The Onion, I'm Jill Hooper.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, July 19th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.25 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,215 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $29, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,425. Antiwar.com reports in comments to reporters, President Trump said that talks with North Korea are going very, very well, but there is no hurry on the denuclearization process. He said that there is no time limit on the process. That isn't necessarily a change in policy, as the administration never put a specific deadline on denuclearization. It is, however, a change in narrative, as previously they'd suggested that it would be happening very quickly. Analysts have suggested full denuclearization is likely to take years, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had said the hope was to have substantial progress done by the end of Trump's first term in office. Other than a dubious claim by John Bolton of a one-year plan, there was never any talk of anything sooner. Trump continues to express optimism about the progress with Kim Jong-un. The current strategy suggests that so long as negotiations are going well and progress is being made, the U.S. isn't going to suddenly bail on the program because of some sense that North Korea is too slow for their taste. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports Pennsylvania Supreme Court moved Wednesday to uphold a tax on soda and other sweetened beverages in Philadelphia. The court issued a 4-2 majority opinion saying the city did not violate state law by instituting a 1.5 cent per ounce tax on drinks to fund pre-K, community schools, and improvements to parks, libraries, and recreational centers. Opponents of the tax argued it amounted to double taxation because it applied to consumers who had already paid sales tax. City officials said money was being withheld as the government awaited the court's decision. The tax added about $1 to the cost of a 2-liter bottle of soda and $2.16 to a 12-pack of 12-ounce sodas, which Pennsylvania Food Merchant Association spokesman Alex Beloga said prompted some people to purchase soda outside of the city. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com. That's weusecoins.com. Reuters reports the California Supreme Court on Wednesday ordered the November ballot purged of an initiative that seeks to split California into 3 states, citing significant questions raised about the proposal's validity. State election officials certified last month that supporters of the so-called Cal 3 measure, also known as Proposition 9, had collected enough signatures to qualify for the ballot in the country's most populous state. An environmental group, the Planning and Conservation League, challenged the measure in court, arguing it posed a revision of the state constitution as a opposed to an amendment that is too sweeping to be legally subjected to the direct consent of the voters. Siding with the opponents for the time being, the court directed state election officials to keep the measure off the upcoming November ballot to allow the justices sufficient time to review and decide the merits of the case. The court left open the possibility of allowing the initiative to be put before the voters in the future, saying the potential harm in permitting the measure to remain on the ballot outweighs the harm of its delay. The initiative was launched by Silicon Valley venture capitalist billionaire Tim Draper, who has argued that California's size makes it ungovernable. He failed in 2 previous bids to qualify a 6-way split of California for the ballot. Draper decried Wednesday's outcome as indicative of a corrupted political system, saying, "This is not the way democracies are supposed to work." Opponents said Draper's partition plan would be chaotic and a costly waste of time and resources. Voter approval of Cal 3 would not automatically divide California into 3 states. Instead, the governor would be directed to petition Congress to approve the split as called for under the U.S. Constitution, and the president would be required to sign such legislation into law. Political experts said Congress is unlikely to embrace the concept of 3 Californias, and they question whether state voters would take it seriously. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Later in the hour, the U.S. Postal Service announces that you can deliver the mail yourself if you think it's so easy. But first up in health news, researchers from Harvard University have found a strong link between male virility and wearing Motley Crue denim jackets. For the study, researchers paired fans of the band with a control group and found that those wearing Motley Crue attire were far more likely to knock out some chick's totally jacked boyfriend and then do it with her later that same day than those who simply wore casual clothes and probably wouldn't know what it feels like to have 2 threesomes in one night.
Men who own jackets with an image of Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx sitting on top of a pair of breasts with nipples in the shape of pentagrams showed higher levels of sexual potency, endurance, and libido. These guys do it all the time, and sometimes even in public. They don't care.
Although the study primarily focused on men in Motley Crue jackets, researchers also found that men who listened to Nirvana had a high likelihood of staying virgins forever.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
LRN.FM, broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It's another beautiful day here in the Shire. I'm joined in the studio by the Queen of Crypto herself, Miss Aria DiMezzo, and we've got live via remote from the hills of East Tennessee. We've got our legal mind, Mr. Tom Gray. Now, got a couple different things here. We've got, public sector employees are doing really well, even though they're always complaining about how they're not making nothing. Then we've got ex-Sheriff David Clarke. Well, it turns out, and this I think we're going to do this first. This ties in. This is from Fox News 6, and it ties into the previous story that we were talking to in the first hour about the redheaded Serbian girl.
Now to our big story tonight at 5. A woman charged with being a covert Russian agent has ties to former Sheriff David Clarke during a 2015 trip to Russia.
In fact, a group she founded paid for Clarke to be there. Political reporter Theo Keith is following the money and joins us from the newsroom. Theo, what'd you find?
Ted, while Milwaukee County Sheriff Clarke was part of a National Rifle Association delegation to meet with Russians, what he did in the country and who paid for his trip is suddenly back in the spotlight. This video shows then Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarke touring a firearms factory in Moscow. The sheriff gets a compliment while test firing a gun.
Nice!
It was December 2015. Clark was part of a delegation from the National Rifle Association. The deputy CEO of Orsis, a Russian firearms company, posted video of this part of the trip online.
Thank you.
At the end of the tour, Clark and the others got a gift.
Oh my God. That's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
At one point, a woman who appears to be Maria Butina is sitting behind Clark. The two are also in this group photo Butina posted online. Clark's 2016 Milwaukee County disclosure form shows a group Butina founded paid $6,000 for Clark's expenses on the 6-day trip. Butina is now charged with being a covert Russian agent. In a criminal complaint, the Justice Department says her job was to identify and exploit personal connections with U.S. persons having influence in American politics. The complaint does not name any Americans. Butina's group, The Right to Bear Arms, covered $1,200 for Clark's meals, $3,000 for the sheriff's hotel, $1,000 for his transportation in Russia, and $800 for something called excursions. The NRA paid more than $13,000 to bring Clark to Russia. We called and emailed the former sheriff, who now lives near Washington, D.C., for comment.
Thank you for calling DAC Enterprises, and sorry we missed your call.
As we reported yesterday, Governor Scott Walker also met Butina. That was during an event in Tennessee in the run-up to Walker's presidential launch event, which Butina also attended. Walker's campaign says Butina got a photo with the governor, but that's as far as it went. Ted?
This is so obviously a witch hunt.
Well, it sounds
Horses
like
of the kitchen.
No, they did not. Look, they found a Russian woman who immigrated to the United States and who then got active in politics based on things that she believed in. And now she's being indicted for that, Tom. This is the greatest violation we have seen on this show in the United States.
Because of what she believed
Because she's from Russia, you're ready to demonize her. Because she has political beliefs and she acted on those political beliefs.
Look at
yes, Tom, that's exactly what you're doing. It's hysteria. And you're not going to listen. You're not going to hear me.
She was already working in these hardcore right-wing circles in 2015 before Trump.
Yeah, well, I didn't say it was.
She was infiltrating.
Just Trump. Well,
she's working for Putin.
First of all, let's not pretend that Trump was the only potential target.
Okay, so if you're Russian, you're not allowed to be involved in American politics.
Exactly.
I mean, even if you move here and you live here and you're a citizen.
She's not a citizen.
She's not a citizen. She's just sleeping with one.
Yep.
Well, even if okay, so how does that apply to the Mexicans,
Tom? What Tom's saying is that my wife couldn't go to the protests that we went to when I was a citizen and she wasn't, because
she's a Kenyan
I'm
agent.
saying if she did it on behalf of a foreign government and we had probable cause to believe she did,
we do not have probable cause to believe that. We have your accusation just now. What?
The CIA and the FBI
probable cause is she touchstone for an indictment. She's been indicted by an American grand jury. She's receiving due process under our own laws.
So we're
not American intelligence, an American grand jury. I trust that they've at least got probable cause.
That was presented evidence by
American prosecutors.
Oh my God! Listen to Tom try so hard.
I'm not just trying. It's right there. The donations are on his financial disclosures from when he was running for office.
Yeah, and there's nothing secret about it. She was totally upfront about it. She's like, I have this political organization and we're going to give you some money. Oh, but she's a Russian agent now. No, it's called what she did.
For real,
that's what she did. It's what she's being indicted for now. And you're like, but she was public about it all these years ago. That's not a cover. Why
would a Russian quote unquote right to bear arms group need to lobby someone who was running for sheriff?
The group is not Russian.
Wisconsin.
The woman is Russian.
He and Clark was bigger than just Wisconsin.
Exactly. That's the right answer. Why would they need to donate this money to someone who is running for a small local office? Because he has massive influence on the national.
They didn't. Read the article again. He was there as part of the NRA. Whether they paid for his expenses or someone else's, they had to have gone through the NRA
delegation. That could be anybody, but the money went to his campaign fund, and that's why it's on the financial disclosure form.
Right.
That's how they
because they were upfront about it. It's not funneling. Here's some money.
Yeah.
They funnel this all the time. Yes,
funneling is when you try to put it in there through different means. And
this is a different means. Oh, come on,
What is the different means?
that she didn't just give it to him directly. They tried to make it look legit. People do this with campaign funds all the time.
Tom, you made my head explode.
A pro-gun group gave in Russia,
run by the Russians.
So hold on. If she had done it secretly, if she had not done it openly, then she would not be guilty.
A Russian group run by a Russian nationalist flew an influential American politician to Russia and gave him a bunch of money.
Because
That's
we have
what
to
happened.
evaluate what you just said. Because you said, this is her cover that they're doing it publicly. So if she had done it secretly, if she had just slipped him $8,000. You would be saying, well, she's not a Russian agent because she was clearly trying to hide it.
Then it would have been a whole lot easier to catch her, which is how these sophisticated outfits run.
In a manila
It would have been a lot easier to catch her.
Tom, that is verbatim lunacy. It is hysteria.
No, it's not. It's called classic.
No,
it's
classic.
What you're describing is obvious classic bribery. What she's doing is more sophisticated 2018 bribery.
As donations to his campaign.
Except it turns out it wasn't up front because she was actually a Russian agent.
No matter what she did, you were going to find her guilty. Are you aware of that? Whether she slipped him the money in secret or whether she gave it to him officially, publicly, in front of everybody in the United States.
No,
you were
she
going
wouldn't
to
have
say
been guilty
she's
of
Russian,
anything.
She's guilty.
She wouldn't have been guilty of anything if she hadn't have been a covert Russian agent trying to influence American politics. If she'd have just stuck around being Russia and being chill, she wouldn't be guilty of anything.
That's not been proven that she's a Russian agent.
She's
she's
indicted. She's being held.
So she's guilty.
She's at least we've at least got probable cause. Now, because we have a superior justice
Tom, there
system
are people
to her
in prison
country,
right now
she'll have
on
a day in
death
court.
row who were found guilty of crimes that they did not commit. Are you aware of this?
Because the
is this news to you?
prosecutors needed somebody to hang on a hook.
Yeah, we have sheriffs arresting people throughout the country because
David Clark is one of them.
Yeah. Because they wanted a 100% clearance on their crime rate, so they're like, just arrest any black people you find near it.
And that's what we have juries.
Yeah, we arrested a Russian woman near it.
We'll see what the results of the trial are. We'll come back to this conversation when she's tried, and when she is found guilty,
then she'll be just like the people on death row who have done nothing.
All right, we'll be back here in just a moment.
They've all
on the Call
done
to Freedom here on LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io. The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way.
Love as your guide.
And liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been talking about the scary Russian spy. Redheaded lady. Tom says he's got some smoking smoking passport falling from the Twin Towers for us. I mean,
it's not really a passport. It's a handwritten note they found in her apartment that has to do with her employment by the FSB, which is the successor
employment
agency to the KGB.
You missed a word,
right?
Yeah, which apparently was later accepted because as you continue reading the article, they have recorded phone conversations between her and an FSB agent, where they discuss her her activities with the NRA, among others.
Interesting. She sounds guilty. Never let it be said that, I'm opposed to evidence, but there was none until you shared it with us just now to believe that she was a Russian agent. And
well,
what they did present...
What I said before was there's evidence in the indictment. Now I'm reading to you from the indictment that I referenced earlier.
I just find...
Anyway!
We found a note written in her handwriting on the desk where she said that she was getting a job from these people.
I was reading it chronologically, yeah.
So, to me, that's...
But I would like to know how they know this FSB guy is with the FSB.
To me, that's like the Dzernev brother wrote his confession in blood on the inside of the boat, and the 9/11 hijacker, we know who it is because one of their passports was found perfectly unsinged 4 blocks away. Like that kind of hokum BS nonsense. That's what it sounds like to me. It's like,
but the phone calls will be almost impossible to fake.
We have the smokiest of the smoky guns.
What the phone calls though?
Daredevil girl is what her Russian contact called her.
Daredevil girl. It just gets better and better. The only way it could be funnier is if they called her Electra. mercy.
So what other evidence is there, Tom? The phone call thing is, that's serious.
The guy that her primary contact, Alexander Torshin, is the deputy head of the Russian Central Bank.
Okay, so he's not an FSB agent. He's a banker.
He is linked to the FSB, yeah. You're saying? Hold on a minute. Now you're defending central bankers like they're not the shadiest bunch in any given nation?
I don't recall. I don't recall doing that.
Holy smokes.
I don't recall saying anything in defense of bankers. However, I am a rational human being who is aware that there is a difference between a freaking agent of a spy intelligence agency and a banker. I have the capacity to recognize that difference because I am not swept away in blind hysteria.
And let's see, they've got a trail of messages, including one in which Torshin likens her to Anna Chapman, who was a Russian intelligence agent who was arrested in the United States in 2012 and pleaded guilty to conspiracy to act as a Russian agent. And she was deported to Russia as part of a swap for American prisoners. Quote, "Are your admirers asking for your photographs yet? You have upstaged Anna Chapman," Torshin wrote.
That doesn't really suggest anything, though. I mean, especially because he's not with the FSB, which is a detail that you seem to be unable to recognize.
I just told you he's connected to the FSB.
You said
the Central Bank.
You said he's connected to it. You didn't provide any evidence whatsoever to demonstrate the allegation that this banker is a spy.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Oh, okay. What is that guy's name? Ben Bernanke. He's clearly an American spy. So when he went around the world, he was clearly engaging in foreign intelligence.
Why are you saying that like it's
because they're terrible
totally
people?
But
there's
does?
Spy has a meaning as a word. Agent for a spy agency has a meaning as a word, and that word's meaning is completely different from the meaning of the word banker. They are two totally different things, man.
Boy,
do you know what an intelligence agent is? Tom, Google intelligence agent right now, and then Google the word banker, and tell me how much overlap you think there is between those two words.
In the weeks before the election, the two agree she should keep a low profile, with Ms. Butina referring to herself as being underground.
I'm just going to say one more time that to me, all of what Tom is saying is this is the Zernev brother writing out his confession in blood inside of the boat. To me, it's just like these. I don't trust these people ever. So I'm not going to suddenly trust them just because I think that Trump's a jack-off.
And it raises the question of why a Russian agent would want to promote.
Well, no, it has everything to do with Trump. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is like it's like
let Arya finish.
Like it's been the nonstop for 2 years, like from the television to the intelligence. Everybody is in unison. Like Trump's not on script. We got to get rid of the guy that's off script.
I could see Russian agents wanting to promote and help popularize anti-gun organizations. But pro-gun ones?
There's more influence to be had with the pro-gun ones because the anti-gun organizations don't have anywhere near the political pull of the pro-gun ones. And we're not talking, by the way, about a pro-gun organization. We're talking about a pro-big business gun organization.
Because their agenda then is to influence American politics in whatever the most expedient and popular method is already.
Yeah.
Well, what the hell is wrong with that?
Hence what? Because they're counter agents for a foreign government.
Well,
what do you mean? Why is it a?
If that allegation is true, yes. But why is what this woman did inherently a problem? Why is it even a problem for people in Russia who are employed by the KGB, whatever it is now, to send $10,000 to the NRA? Why is that a problem?
Well, sending money directly to an American political candidate is
okay. Okay, let's say
which is what they did.
Let's say she sent $10,000. Let's say they sent $10,000 to Trump. Why is that an issue, man? Or $2,500, whatever the federal limit is on campaign donations. Why is that a problem?
Bribery. It's called bribery.
Well, it's called bribery when the American public does it.
Yeah, but we're entitled because we were born here.
Oh. So it all comes down to
That's
where
the
they are born
difference.
geographically. It all depends on which non-existent arbitrary lines on a map they happen to fall between, or whether or not they can make the world a better place by spreading ideologies that they happen to believe.
The world a better place. They're not trying to make the world a better place. They're trying to make Russia.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Song goes out to Jerry Garcia and Bob Marley.
was a mason jar. Can you guess what I put in mine? We all go to Jamaica once or twice a year to smoke big blunts with the Rasta man and drink ice cold red Stripe beers. All my friends are stoners. We sit around and get fried. We're asking the president to legalize it so the whole wide world can get high.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are, we're going to do a double segment of our cannabis news because, well, we're Awesome Sauce and the only libertarian source for cannabis news anywhere. So I've got one really awesome story that was brought in from Aria from Forbes magazine today. Turns out the Senate has voted to legalize hemp.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw it.
A wide-ranging agricultural and food policy legislation known as the Farm Bill passed by a vote of 86-11 on Thursday, and it contains provisions to legalize the cultivation, processing, and sale of industrial hemp. The move, championed by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, and would also make hemp plants eligible for crop insurance.
False flag operation.
Consumers across America buy hundreds of millions of retail products every year that contain hemp, McConnell said in a floor speech on Thursday. But due to outdated federal regulations that do not sufficiently distinguish this industrial crop from its illicit cousin, American farmers have been mostly unable to meet that demand themselves. It's left consumers with little choice but to buy imported hemp products from foreign-produced hemp. McConnell also took to the Senate floor on Tuesday and Wednesday to tout the bill's hemp legalization provisions in separate speeches. In April, the GOP leader introduced standalone legislation to legalize hemp, the Hemp Farming Act, the provision of which were included in the larger farm bill when it was unveiled earlier this month. The Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry approved the bill by a vote of 20 to 1 2 weeks ago. And during that committee markup, Senator Charles Grassley, a Republican from Iowa, one of Congress's most ardent opponents of marijuana law reform, threatened to pursue serious changes to the bill's hemp provision on the floor. Namely, he wanted to remove the legalization of derivatives of the cannabis plant like CBD, which is used by many people for medical purposes. But Grassley never ended up filing a floor amendment, allowing hemp supporters to avoid a contentious debate and potentially devastating changes to the bill. Hemp legalization enjoys broad bipartisan support. Legalizing hemp nationwide ends decades of bad policymaking and opens up untold economic opportunities for farmers in Oregon and across the country, said Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, upon the passage of the Farm Bill today. Our bipartisan legislation will spur economic growth in rural communities by creating much-needed red, white, and blue jobs that pay well. I'm proud to have worked with my colleagues to get the Bipartisan Hemp Farming Act through the Senate. Today,
the Republicans just legalized hemp.
Marks a
and let me explain what I meant when I called this a false flag operation. So we sort of know that the medical marijuana movement has been the full legalization movement's baby cousin, and it has been the way in which people who are against personal freedom have been able to appear like they're following some middle path by supporting the medical stuff, but you can't smoke it just for fun. And then that turns into, well, you can only have this kind. Well, you can't grow it yourself. You have to buy it from these sources. Well, you have to pay a tax. Well, the even more milky toasty version of that is support for hemp. Because hemp doesn't have any medical or psychoactive use. It is just a plant. So hemp has the support of big farm with an F as opposed to big
It's just
farm.
a plant. It just grows. It's just like
and
that.
it doesn't do anything for people I mean, you make ropes with it, pretty much.
But CBD has its uses, and hemp contains CBD. It doesn't contain THC.
And you saw how much of a fit Chuck Grassley threw over that.
But he didn't introduce the amendment.
His name is Grassley. Yeah, I know. No, he never got around to introducing the amendment. That says to me there must have been something in the bill itself that makes it to where it does not allow any sort of medicinal CBD to be produced or something.
Or like a lot of senators who just didn't bother to go that day.
It just grow like that.
It just grow.
If you should happen to set it on fire.
Love Pat Williams.
Oh wait, now that's the other fun part. If and you happen to set it on fire, the government's going to pay the person who owned the hemp because they made it eligible for federal crop insurance. So it's actually
like a win-win.
It's actually a big bailout for factory farms that does absolutely nothing for the people who are in prison.
Oh, this is what they're going to do now that they're going to have. They can't grow soybeans for China anymore.
Hemp. I mean, we knew that. It's not any progress for the drug war. But
we just got Palestinian big name activist Annie Mam, professor at Zaytuna Institute in California, for an interview tomorrow at 6:00.
Awesome.
He'll be joining us. So there you go.
Oh, we have to do the drama early then.
Yeah, we'll do drama first hour. So
sad that I'm back to not being around on Fridays. Or I'm not around on Fridays. Actually, next week is my last. Tomorrow is my last Friday off because next week I go back to my regular schedule, I believe.
Okay, just send me what days you're going to be. So you're going to be here on...
It'll be back to Monday, Thursday, Friday.
Thursday and Friday. We're actually... Caleb Dyer, the state representative, the Libertarian Party state representative from New Hampshire, will now be joining us on Mondays once Tom gets back to his regular schedule. And we're working on hiring 2 more voices. A young lady named Ariel Reynal, who is interested in joining the show, who is a regular at Pork Fest. She was the first one to set up the Agorist taxi service, which is a pretty smart idea. You stay here at the festival and get drunk and trip, and I'll run and grab those cigarettes and food and Dunkin' Donuts for you. Yeah, she made a pretty good bit of money that year, too. It was pretty smart.
I bet.
But anyway, so the U.S. Senate has now, since, for the first time in 80 years, the bill legalizes hemp. We forget, but hemp was widely grown in the U.S. throughout the mid-1800s, said Colorado Senator Michael Bennet in a floor speech Wednesday. Americans use hemp for fabric, wine, paper. Our government treated industrial hemp like any other farm commodity until the 20th century, when a 1937 law defined it as a narcotic drug, dramatically limiting its growth. This became even worse when in 1970, when hemp became a Schedule I controlled substance. God, I can't believe that there's really a time in America where hemp, man, hemp was a Schedule I controlled substance like heroin. Anyway, when we get back with our regular cannabis news, we've got more. Turns out the Oklahoma Attorney General is siding with the voters.
Bogart that joint, my friend. Pass it over to me.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Catch The Call to Freedom at its new time, weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. The Call to Freedom is the only live drive-home call-in show in the U.S. with a segment devoted to cryptocurrencies. Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, live from Vertcoin Studios in New Hampshire. Learn about what makes cryptocurrencies so great and why you should care about them. Updates on new coins and ICOs, and warnings of scams. Plus, hear from traders, whales, developers, and big names in the crypto world. You can also win crypto coins or tokens every episode. Just listen for the faucet sound and be the 5th caller to get free Dash, Litecoin, Vertcoin, Verge, or other cryptocurrencies. The Call to Freedom with Will and Aria, featuring Crypto Hour. Broadcast internationally through our BitPlus network satellite. Weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. on LRN FM.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.fm पे.
Let's focus our discussion first on marijuana, okay? Marijuana has a very distinct smell, okay? I'm going to pass around just a little tiny bit, and I want you all to take a smell so you know when someone is smoking marijuana near you.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, your only libertarian source for cannabis news. And we've got more good news for you guys today. I love when it's good news. First, the Senate has said, you know what? No more hemp laws. Hemp is legal. We're so stupid for ever making it illegal. We shouldn't have been kissing DuPont's butthole. Because that's where it came from, was the collusion. Yeah, collusion with DuPont and other oil companies and plastics manufacturers, because hemp provides superior services that don't kill the earth. So they had to get rid of it. Well, we've got another good story here.
Kind of like how, marijuana provides similar services to pharmacies without killing the patient.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've been covering this story. First, we talked about Oklahoma passing one of the most reasonable and open and easily accessed medical marijuana laws ever passed. Then we covered where they had the city attorney draw up some horrible rules to go against what the state wanted, and then lobby against her own rules only to be arrested for sending herself fake death threats in her official email address. And now we've got the Oklahoma Attorney General saying that officials have defied the will of the people. Oklahoma's Board of Health has overstepped its authority with several of the emergency rules on medical marijuana that it adopted last week. Oklahoma Attorney General Mike Hunter wrote Wednesday in a letter to the head of the agency. In the letter to Interim Commissioner of Health Tom Bates, Hunter specifically cites last-minute changes the nine-member board approved last week that prohibit the sale of smokable marijuana and require a pharmacist at every dispensary. Those rules were recommended by groups representing doctors, pharmacists, and hospitals, but were fiercely opposed by medical marijuana advocates. The board approved those rules despite a warning from its own general counsel that members didn't actually have the authority to do so.
When has government ever cared about whether or not it has the authority to do something, though?
Right. Hunter says several other rules adopted by the board appear to go beyond its statutory authority, including limits on the amount of THC allowed in cannabis products, restrictions on dispensaries, requiring surety bonds for licensing, and requiring medical marijuana to be grown in enclosed structures. Hunter
surety
said,
bonds, also known as kick a few bucks to our bail bondsman buddies.
Well, officials must do the will of the people. Hunter said that none of these regulations are authorized under State Question 788, the proposal to legalize medical marijuana that Oklahoma residents approved last month with 57% of the vote. I have no doubt that the board in good faith sought to regulate marijuana in a manner it believed would most promote the health and safety of Oklahomans, Hunter wrote. However, in doing so, the board made policy judgments not authorized by the statute. Those policy judgments are the prerogative of the legislature and of the people. Hunter suggested the board reconvene to reconsider the rules based on his recommendations. State Board of Health President Tim Starkey said in a statement that he asked the agency's staff to make the recommended changes and plans to call a special meeting to consider those changes, quote, as soon as possible. The board's adoption of the new rules, which were quickly signed by Governor Mary Fallin, already has led to 2 separate lawsuits filed by medical marijuana advocates. This story came from the Associated Press and reprinted in Leafly magazine.
So, Tom, what is a surety bond?
That's money that you put up with the state that says, if I screw up, get sued, hurt somebody, blah, 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 that this money will go to pay back the state for the bad thing that I did.
Why wouldn't some sort of insurance cover that? Or is it just the same thing?
It's like insurance for the government against things you do that the government claims to be hurt by.
Gotcha.
Now where it's the same thing as bond that you post to get out of jail pending trial, except that you haven't actually done anything yet. It's so, notaries public have to put up a surety bond. Public officials have to put them up, which actually makes sense. Like your local sheriff has to put up a surety bond that basically says if I screw up and the county gets sued, then this Money goes to help pay for those expenses. The requirement of making marijuana dispensaries put it up, however, is nothing but a straight-up barrier to market entry. That's what it's intended to be. And also, it is a form of corporate welfare for the bond companies, because these bonds are underwritten by private companies the same way that bail bonds are.
Gotcha. So they're basically just like, you have to do all this other crap and give us some money.
Yep. Typical government BS.
Well, yeah, because the bail bonds was in the government's already butt buddies to start with, because they chase down people that don't show up for court, and
sometimes they do that. Anymore, they're more than content just to say to the court, "Well, I lost him. Here's some of that money back," because it happens so infrequently that they still end up making a killing, literally doing nothing. We don't even have good bounty hunters anymore, man. I'm telling you.
I would say that's a good thing.
Yeah, in a way. In a way.
So, I mean, do we really want people running around out there arresting people for the state? I don't. If you get away from the state's grasp and they're looking for you, go you.
Right? Run, boy, run!
Don't stop until you're free.
Like, I'm generally behind that proposition, and the paradoxical thing is that usually the ones who are charged with the really, really bad crimes either don't run, or they don't, end up getting arrested in the first place. So most of the people who are out on bond are out for things where I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you to run from your bond, but I'm not going to be too upset if you do. Especially if it has to do with pot.
Yeah.
Well, now, because of that kind of thing, what they're doing is they'll suspend your driver's license. You leave for pot, and then they just suspend your license.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get nailed in a state where you don't know anybody. And
Well, speaking of the anti-pot lobby, did you want to tell everybody who I'm voting for governor?
Oh yeah, we gotta play this. Where's that video at? Here we go. So this is before we go. This is Basil Marceau for governor
choice in the governor's primary
of Tennessee.
race.
As part of that commitment, we have given all 5 candidates from the 2 major parties time during our news to let you know where they stand in their own words about the topics of their choosing.
That's right, and the order was chosen by random drawing tonight. We hear from Basil Marceau.
They make sure to tell you that.
I'm BasilMarceau.com, the Republican candidate for governor. I'd like to recall all permits and registration for guns. Everyone can carry guns. If you kill someone, you get murdered. You go to jail. And I like to plant grass or vegetation across the state with any vacant lot and sell it for gas so we can use it for our expenses. Also, I'm going to remove all gold fringe flags from the state and apply the real flag with 3 stripes. I also want to stop traffic stops. Set it up like the Supreme Court ruled in Knowles versus Iowa. If you can't find evidence in the car, you can't look. I want you all to vote for Basil Marceau. I want you to say the Pledge of Allegiance to a Republic in the morning when you come out. And we all pray to God and say amen. And everyone have a nice day. And I see you all at the polls. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Basil Marceau for governor.
Guns and grass, baby.
Guns and grass. It's almost as awesome as... anyway, Free Talk Live is coming up next.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, July 19th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.25 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,215 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $29, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,425. Antiwar.com reports in comments to reporters, President Trump said that talks with North Korea are going very, very well, but there is no hurry on the denuclearization process. He said that there is no time limit on the process. That isn't necessarily a change in policy, as the administration never put a specific deadline on denuclearization. It is, however, a change in narrative, as previously they'd suggested that it would be happening very quickly. Analysts have suggested full denuclearization is likely to take years, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had said the hope was to have substantial progress done by the end of Trump's first term in office. Other than a dubious claim by John Bolton of a one-year plan, there was never any talk of anything sooner. Trump continues to express optimism about the progress with Kim Jong-un. The current strategy suggests that so long as negotiations are going well and progress is being made, the U.S. isn't going to suddenly bail on the program because of some sense that North Korea is too slow for their taste. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports Pennsylvania Supreme Court moved Wednesday to uphold a tax on soda and other sweetened beverages in Philadelphia. The court issued a 4-2 majority opinion saying the city did not violate state law by instituting a 1.5 cent per ounce tax on drinks to fund pre-K, community schools, and improvement